Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, fuck everybody, just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
If you shave your cooch, but not your booty hole, is that the same as a mullet?
My tongue out her ass and left. I'm on TV! Oh shit! First cops, now this? Oh.
guys, I'm Bullhorn Betty, and this is the Bullhorn Betty channel, where we're taking a deep dive into Sebastian Waindrake Rogers. We have been covering the case since the early part of March, prior to or the day of the interview of both mom and stepdad. What we learned was there were some questionable statements made. And then we started looking into the parents, which really ruffled the feathers of the mom, more importantly, the stepdad. He felt that if we just took all the drama out of this, there's nothing here to see except a teenage boy that just simply ran away from home. That couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, this mom and stepfather has hired some of the most vile people to assist them in locating their son. From past felons that are currently committing crimes to questionable people with questionable pasts, such as substance abuse, where one of their searchers is seen in the woods utilizing substances through a straw and a dollar bill up that person's nostrils, inhaling whatever it was that he was doing. Then you have another content creator that is filthy, which again is just representation of the people that they hire to assist them. And then lastly, one of the main supporters of the mom and stepdad has now 2 new civil actions against her, one for child custody and another one for stalking her ex-pregnant girlfriend. So, and then after that, an incident report came about where she or her other daughter put bruises on her youngest daughter's throat. Again, this just kind of embodies the type of people that are representing Sebastian's mom and stepfather. While I never criticize anybody's past, because let's face it, we all have one. It's the difference between somebody that has overcome that and has redeemed themselves versus somebody that has continuously done this throughout the pattern of their story and is continuing to do it. No redemption, no remorse, just continuing the same bad behavior over and over again, expecting different results. Sebastian Waindrake Rogers deserves better than this. He deserves the right type of people searching for him and looking for him. There has been a lot of statements made from the mom and the stepfather, predominantly the stepfather, Chris Proudfoot. And I've got to say, the inconsistency, the anger, the vitriol, and the threats and intimidation that he has posed to just about anybody and everybody searching for his son, his stepson, has me very, very, very concerned, including my own arrest. For what? For doing my job and speaking out against him, as well as law enforcement in the area. This makes you take a back seat because you see parents that are spending more time trying to shut my mouth than they are searching for their own missing child that disappeared from their own home. Why? That is the question we should be all asking ourselves, is why. We're going to be going over this case a little more in depth. I hope you stay tuned. We have a lot to discuss and a new case to bring up. I thank you all for being here. I hope you take the time before we start to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. If you would like to help me with my legal expenses, or just to support the efforts that we're doing, we have a variety of ways that you can contribute. From the GoFundMe to help me fight specifically with my legal expenses. We have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We have an Amazon wish list if you just want to give me a thank you item or buy something special for the Lila. Again, this is truly a family, and we've truly come together for the sake of Sebastian Waindrake Rogers. And we're going to continue to fight for him. And we're going to continue to expose the mom and stepdad's weird behaviors and inconsistent statements. and we're going to expose those around them that are doing nefarious things to prevent the search or Sebastian being found. I hope you guys support all the creators that have come together to say no to this nonsense and to keep Sebastian first and foremost. God bless each and every one of you watching this, and have a great day. What we do know as fact, however, is that Seth has been searching for his son ever since his son disappeared. Seth has publicly taken a polygraph. He has publicly produced his work records. This man has done everything he could possibly do, including working with the FBI, working with me to advocate for his son, calling on the national media, getting Nick the Hat and Dog the Bounty Hunter, and we're here with what from the mom and stepfather? Nothing for almost 10 months. Shoddy searches at best, working with an unscrupulous PI, felons, and including one searcher utilizing substances, illicit substances, while searching for their son. It is Friday. We have made it through another crazy week. And of course, we're going to be ending the week with a bang. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty channel. If you have not already, please consider giving me a thumbs up. Good morning, everyone. It's nice, bright, and early this morning. And I just want to take a few moments to say hi. I'm not going to start at the very beginning because we already have almost 400 people in chat this morning. Good morning, Carrie, Robini, Luna, Livonia. It's nice to see you. Our beautiful Pebbles is up in the house this morning, reminding us all what it's all about. It's nice to see you. Lady 7 Up, Mary, Peggy, Sissy, Autistic Awareness Grandmother. Nice to see you. Denise, and I think I said hi to Pebbles already. If I didn't, good morning, Pebbles. Jasper, me and you, the hen house is up in the house. Kimberly, Elizabeth, good morning. Stephanie, Rita, Cinderella, good morning, love bug. I hope you're doing well. Carrie, good morning. Sherry, good to the one and only Bullhorn. And good morning. What happened? The cops all, thank you, Betty. Bless and bring Sebastian home. Amen for that. Amen for that. We have Peggy up in the house. Cheryl, good morning. Melanie, Dee's Mystery Obsessed. It's nice to see you. Good morning. Diana, Monica, reminding us our army is strong for Sebastian. Good morning. Good morning. We got Whispering Winds. Donna, it's nice to see you. Wait, what? SRK, good morning. MJ, it's nice to see you. Dee always reminding us she enjoys every cup of coffee with us. Good morning, and we enjoy it with you. If you guys got your coffee, good morning. Happy Friday. Sunny days. Zipper, it's nice to have you. Our beautiful Betty fan. Good morning. She sent me some scrumptious chocolates. They didn't last very long. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And there's Seth. I saw people saying hi to you, but I didn't see you. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you're doing well this morning. We got some crazy stories to go over. We're going to be going over today a new case that's going to blow many of your minds. This is, we talk about corruption. We talk about, a lot of things on this channel, but none, and I mean none, this wild and this crazy. So we're going to take a deep dive, and we're going to go back into time just a little, ever so slightly. And we're going to be driving to Alabama. What? Wait, what? Yes, Alabama. A small community called Hanceville, Alabama. This is going to blow, and I mean blow your mind, folks. Blow your mind. We have some corruption, holy corruption. And it all started with a dispatcher, a law enforcement dispatcher's death.
If you're a YouTuber and you want to save hours managing your library, you need TubeBuddy. Come check out how you can edit your
We would love to have a YouTuber.
Good afternoon. I'm District Attorney Champ Crocker, joined here by Sheriff Matt Gentry. This is a sad day for law enforcement.
Yes, it is.
But at the same time, it is a good day for the rule of law. The grand jury of Coleman County has recently returned multiple felony and misdemeanor indictments on 5 Hanceville police officers and 1 spouse of an officer.
Hey, crime stories.
As DA, I would like to thank several agencies and individuals for their assistance in this investigation. The Alabama State Bureau of Investigation, Special Agent Jamie King, who led this investigation. Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall and his staff. The Attorney General's office reviewed these charges before we took them to the grand jury, and General Marshall and I have remained in close contact throughout this process. The Alabama Ethics Commission and Special Agent Chris McKay, Coleman County Sheriff Matt Gentry and his staff for their assistance, as well as the Coleman Police Department, who provided assistance, and the Wallace State Police Force, who responded in this case. I'm going to go through the charges and the individuals at this time, and we're going to have something on the screen.
Let's see if I can get that screenshot.
The Cody Allen Kelso, 2 counts of computer tampering, solicitation to commit a controlled substance crime, use of office for personal.
They're not showing the photos. We will go over these officers in just a second.
Gain and tampering with physical evidence. Jason Scott Wilbanks, 2 counts of computer tampering, 2 counts use of office for personal gain, 2 counts solicitation to commit a controlled substance crime, and tampering with physical evidence. Jason.
You guys are hearing it correctly, okay? Tampering with evidence and basically drug charges. Officers, law enforcement officers, but your mind is going to be blown on how all of this happened. And you know how much I just love law enforcement corruption.
Shane Marlin, 2 counts of failure to report an ethics crime and tampering with physical evidence. William Andrew Shelnut, tampering with physical evidence, 1 count. Eric Michael Kelso, 4 counts, unlawful distribution of a controlled substance, 2 counts.
Unlawful distribution of controlled substance. We had law enforcement, a whole entire department of drug dealers. Did you guys hear that? Of drug dealers, cops, our taxpayer money, giving them a great salary, retirement, benefits. Oh, and by the way, access to the evidence locker.
Conspiracy to unlawfully distribute a controlled substance. His spouse,
Hanceville,
Donna Reed
Alabama.
Kelso, 2 counts, unlawful distribution of a controlled substance, 2 counts, conspiracy to unlawfully distribute a controlled substance. All charges are felonies, with the exception of tampering with physical evidence, which is a Class A misdemeanor. The grand jury, and I'm going to speak about the grand jury and their work, but first I want to tell you the grand jury's findings and recommendations, which were unanimous and made public by the grand jury. I'm going to read these 9 points for you. Number 1, that any current or former officer of Hanceville Police Department indicted be suspended from law enforcement by the Alabama Peace Officers Standards and Training Commission. Number 2, that the Hanceville Police Department be immediately abolished. Number 3, that another law enforcement agency, whether local or state, be tasked with protecting the citizens of Hanceville. Number 4, based upon the investigation by the State Bureau of Investigation, we, the grand jury, find that the Hanceville Police Department is a particular and ongoing threat to public safety. Number 5, that there is a rampant culture of corruption in the Hanceville Police Department, which has recently operated as more of a criminal enterprise than a law enforcement agency.
Whoa! A criminal enterprise, an entire police department. Oh, and by the way, y'all, the chief was wrapped up in it too. Oh, yes, he was. Drug dealers putting on a badge, to serve and protect our community, and the community needed to be protected from them. This is egregious, y'all. Probably the most egregious I've ever seen. It's the whole damn department. I'm sure there's probably 1 or 2 good people in there, or, a few. I shouldn't say it like that. There probably are a few people, and they were ostracized to shut them up. That's how it works.
Number 6, that the Hanceville Police Department has abused public trust by its failure of oversight, lack of leadership, and negligent training and hiring.
Negligent training and hiring? They're drug dealers. And somebody just put in the chat how many people are in jail due to this corruption. Exactly. Not only that, how many people have been put in jail because they were their competition? Holy smokes. Holy ever-loving smokes. This is serious.
Number 7, that the Hanceville Police Department has failed to account for, preserve, and maintain evidence, and in doing so has failed crime victims and the public at large. This evidence is unusable.
They have harmed countless cases. Unusable evidence. Their freaking evidence locker had a big hole in the wall. You could literally reach your arm through it and pull out whatever you wanted. Unchecked. I literally have no words. None.
Number 8, this grand jury toured the Hanceville jail on February 12th, 2025. We, the grand jury, have zero confidence in the Hanceville Police Department's ability to maintain the jail or to meet basic health and safety needs of jail personnel or inmates. Number 9, that the death of former Hanceville dispatcher Chris Willingham is the direct result of Hanceville Police Department's negligence, lack of procedure, general incompetence, and disregard for human life. Signed by the foreman, February 14th, 2025. I want to thank this grand jury. Only the grand jury knows all of the facts in this case. The grand jury was 18 people from all walks of life in different backgrounds from all over Coleman County. They took an oath to diligently inquire indictable offenses without malice or fear and to the best of their ability. Before we started, the grand jury and I said a prayer together, and we asked that the Lord's wisdom and discernment guide every part of this process. They reviewed the evidence for days, and they weren't afraid to ask tough questions. This grand jury upheld their oaths on behalf of the citizens of Coleman County, and they were unanimous in their recommendations, and they were unanimous in all the indictments that I've listed.
Now, I want to say, kudos to these grand juries. They're tough, and this is the small town, and I have to imagine that knowing that something like this happens in their own community probably rocked them to their core. This was a jaw dropper. It really was. I when I started reading this, I'm like, this is not, this is an isolated incident, just 5 corrupt cops. And the more you dig into it, it's the whole police department. It has a messed up culture. And obviously they believe that as long as they wear the badge, they can commit any crime that they choose to commit. And this community, I have to think, was in terror of their own law enforcement. Think about how unnerving that must be when you have a corrupt law enforcement. And good God, you say something, they have the authority of throwing you in jail and turning you into a criminal that nobody will believe. Like I said, this happens all over the country. It's not isolated, but this is the most egregious I've seen. Like with the evidence and the chief of police, everybody being okay. Like, I don't know. This is the stuff I say most people don't like getting their hands dirty like this. But this they got all their hands dirty.
I want to talk about the evidence room, and we're going to have another slide for you. One of the most concerning things that we discovered in this process was that Hanceville Police Department's evidence room was not secure. Criminal evidence must be secured in order to have that evidence for prosecution and to ensure due process. This evidence room was anything but secure. This photo here is the outside wall to the evidence room, and you will see this hole in the evidence room. This picture was
we'll show it all later.
August 23rd, 2024. You will also notice a broomstick in the corner that is green with a white handle on it. And in the next couple slides, you will see what that broomstick was used for in this hole. And I'm not going to name the individual pictured here. This is someone who works there. And you can see this individual has this stick in his hand and is pushing it in the door, in the hole, to jimmy open the door. And the grand jury watched a lot of videos. This is from security camera footage showing this evidence room was routinely accessed by individuals who were not authorized to do so, going in and out using this stick through the hole in the wall. This is from the same transaction here where this individual who had the stick is actually
yes, literally a hole.
And upper body into the hole, attempting to jimmy open the door, which was a quite common occurrence. That's our final slide for that. I want to say this for the citizens of Hanceville. The citizens of Hanceville deserve equal protection under the law. They deserve to have a safe community just like everyone else in this county.
Amen.
I have been in touch with Hanceville officials this week. Mayor Sawyer and the council have pledged their full cooperation throughout this process. This morning, Hanceville Municipal Judge Heath Maherg entered an order calling for an audit of the evidence room, and he is joining me in asking state officials to conduct that audit.
That's going to be, now mind you guys, this all came about because one of their dispatchers died on duty from an OD. Yeah. Died in their office. And they're wondering how in the world this guy could have died from an OD. And come to find out, their own evidence blocker was the culprit. And everybody had carte blanche access to it. And that's what opened up this can of worms. If that person, that dispatcher, did not lose his life, they would still be conducting business right now. Right now. And what bothers me, like many of the stuff we cover, is this is what was found. How many other evidence lockers around this country are accessible to unauthorized people using the evidence to profit from? Or in the case of the dispatcher, indulge in. Serious stuff, folks. This is only one case that was located. How many other cases that we don't know about yet?
With these indictments, these officers find themselves on the opposite end of the laws they were sworn to uphold. Wearing a badge is a privilege and an honor.
Before he goes on to the privilege and the honor, which wearing a badge is a privilege and honor, because this is a police department, but our sheriff's departments have a lot, and I mean a lot, of authority that we the people give them to keep us safe. And the oversight has to be there. Not only that, somebody brings up about, couldn't people sentenced to prison with evidence be held at the police station ask for an appeal? Absolutely. This is a nightmare for law enforcement, because how long has it been going on? And you can already tell that this DA is toning it down a little bit, which upsets me, because he says short time, for the short time. How do you know how long this has been going on? I just don't see a whole bunch of officers upholding the law and then having a new police chief and it go girls gone wild with, champagne and Coca-Cola parties. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to me. So this has been a culture in this department for a significant amount of time. No, there's nobody. I don't know who's in the back or what back chat, but no, we have this on for a day. So we control our chat here. And that means that people that are coming in, you have to be here for a day to comment. And that's just to control the chat, because we don't like trolls. Trolls are disruptive. And, we used to set it for 5 days. That means you couldn't comment for 5 days. I've relaxed that policy a little bit. Or to 24 hours. So if you guys would like to comment, make sure you sub up today. Tomorrow you'll be able to comment. That's just how a lot of us true crime content creators are running our chats right now, because to be honest with you, we're sick of the distractions and disruptions. So hopefully you guys all understand that. I welcome anybody to sub up. I love hearing from the audience, and I love hearing conversations about this. For those people that are watching that have comments on this that can't communicate, you can always send me your comments at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. And if one of my moderators could remind me to check the emails before we segue over to Sebastian Rogers, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it.
And that most law enforcement officers take seriously. A badge is not a license to corrupt the administration of justice. And when law enforcement officers abuse their power, they do damage to the public's trust.
Yes, they do.
Law enforcement. Our law enforcement officers in this county put their lives on the line every day to protect the citizens. And those officers who would break the law diminish the sacrifices of the overwhelming majority of officers who protect and serve. And when law enforcement officers do not meet the standard that they should, they will be held accountable. Now, we will allow some time for questions. I am not going to discuss the facts of these cases. I will answer any general questions to the extent possible, but first I will defer to Sheriff Gentry.
Thank you, DA.
So after Sheriff Gentry speaks, we're going to segue over to other articles. This is a press conference that's about 30 or so minutes, depending on what they say. We'll listen in when it starts getting a little, needless. We'll move on.
There's nothing more important to us in law enforcement than good, honest law enforcement.
Amen.
When we have those that do wrong, it hurts us all. The reason I'm standing here today with the district attorney, because I believe in doing what's right. But I also want to stand up for the law enforcement, men and women of the sheriff's office, men and women of the police department here in Coleman, troopers, and law enforcement across the state of Alabama, for the 99% that do what is right.
And that's what we have to remember. And sometimes it's hard because a lot of us only hear about these horrible cases with law enforcement when something goes wrong, right? And it paints this horrible brush and quite frankly, puts a lot of law enforcement officers in jeopardy across this country because people identify corruption with cops, even though other cops are good. You don't hear about the stellar cops, hardly ever do we have, cop promotions or, our national media talking about the good cops do. Every time we hear, even on this show, every time we hear anything related to cops, typically is not good, when we're covering the case. Other cases like the Idaho 4, we couldn't applaud law enforcement loud enough for their dedication and perseverance and tenacity in the Idaho 4 case. But let's face it, when we hear stuff like, George Floyd and other cases like that, where law enforcement has been not only charged, but convicted of crimes related to assaulting or the decease of a person that shouldn't have been, that was cooperative. We've seen it all. And we see it and it turns our stomach. And many of us here, we have law enforcement or military in our pedigree, like our family, our friends, our children, our grandparents, or ourselves are in law enforcement, right? And so you're sitting there thinking about how well you do your job. I mean, look at Seth. Seth is an officer. He puts on a badge. He swears to an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States. And he works in a jail facility where he's required to treat people with dignity, even though some of those people he has to treat with dignity didn't treat others with dignity, and why they are in jail, under his care to begin with. So a lot of law enforcement get angry when they hear some stuff like this. I get angry for them because I know that every time we hear a case like this, it jeopardizes another law enforcement's life. And it's just like that. And if you don't think it is, I beg to differ. Because when we, the people, fear our law enforcement, when it comes time where we have to communicate with them, we're in such fear. We have a fight or flight mechanism in our bodies. And sometimes our demeanor is flight because of fear. And we've seen that. Like, for example, it's a bad example, but one of the Jan 6 prisoners were pardoned or whatever by President Trump. Well, he ended up getting unalived by law enforcement because he was doing something and was getting pulled over, and he got scared and took off. So again, another situation that put law enforcement's life in jeopardy because of fear. Now, that's just my opinion. I didn't really look into there. There may be some nuances with that case. I didn't know the person. I just read about it. We never really covered it, but it did make national headlines a few weeks ago, and my heart broke because I feel like he ran because he was fearful. He had just gotten out of prison for walking in a building that he was most likely invited to walk into. I mean, you know, the reality of the situation.
We always hear there's the 1%. Well, today you're seeing the 1%.
Yep.
But we always have to stand up for what's right. And those men and women that go out every day to make a sacrifice that we're protected. The other issue I want to address is once I knew the grand jury's findings and the report, myself and members of the command staff started meeting to assure the citizens of Hanceville one thing: safety. And I want to speak to those citizens. I know right now that you're going through a range of emotions, from anger, hurt, all of the things that we feel when our trust has been betrayed, fear. But I can assure you, members of the sheriff's office here in Coleman County, we have already met. I have spoken to members of Hanceville, the mayor and the council. We will do what is necessary to protect our citizens in Hanceville, because they're not just citizens of Hanceville, they're citizens of Coleman County. And as sheriff, we protect all citizens of Coleman County. That's what I've been doing for the last 25 and a half years, and that's what I'll continue to do. Days like this come and go, but good law enforcement will stand the test of time. And I'm pleased to be standing here with the district attorney and all of those that do what is right. So thank you for being here, and thank you for getting out the truth.
Thank you for getting out the truth. When I hear that statement made, it almost rings as if people knew that this was going on for some time. I'm sorry. It's just whether or not that's the case, it is just how I feel. You know, it's just how I feel when I hear a statement like that.
So the grand jury found that the Hanceville Police Department is a particular and ongoing threat to public safety. Can you expand on what that threat is? Can you tell us how it's an ongoing threat to public safety?
I'm sorry, but to say a police station is a threat to public safety, I mean, that to me is utterly insanity. Insanity.
That finding was based on the charges themselves, based on their observations of the conduct that had been going on. The charges that go to that finding speak for themselves.
Do you expect any other charges to come with this?
For these defendants, I do not expect any other charges unless there is new evidence. As for anyone else, I can't say at this time.
It says the police department should be abolished. Is that happening?
You would have to ask the city of Hanceville about that. I have not heard of what their plans are in that respect.
So these recommendations are made to the city of Hanceville, and then they take action on them.
The recommendations have been made to the public at large, and then whatever action is taken will be up to the mayor and the council.
And what's going to happen with these cases that the evidence has been tampered with?
Some of those cases are in the municipal court of Hanceville. Some of those cases, if they're felonies, are cases that we handle in state court. We are going to begin a review process of all those cases. We will look at those on a case-by-case basis.
This is a very tedious task. People don't understand what kind of nightmare this does for the justice system in this city and county. And it will affect the state as well.
I am not optimistic about the ability to prosecute cases with tampered evidence.
Do you know how many cases there are?
See, they're going to have to toss cases, y'all. Tell me that's not a threat to public safety. You have real legitimate criminals that should not be on our streets, and they're going to be tossed because of the corruption in this one city. You guys have no idea what it's like, especially how long have these people been in serving this community? It's something that you just can't. You just can't. So let's move on. We got the gist of that. Here are the people. These are people that know better. Would you guys agree with me that all these people look like that they're smart people? They look like they know better. They're definitely not some 19-year-old punks, right? These are well-bodied men that knew what they were doing was wrong, knew what they were doing was criminal, and still chose to put their community in jeopardy over substances and money. We don't know what all they took out of that evidence locker. Could they have taken money? If there was a drug bust and money was acquired, is that possible? Yes. These people had their hand in the cookie jar. But what's more alarming is the chief was also indicted. Indicted.
The grand jury sent down 9 findings and recommendations to the city of Hanceville, which include a rampant culture of corruption, abolishing the police department, and the death of a Hanceville dispatcher was the direct result of the Hanceville Police Department's negligence.
These officers find themselves on the opposite end of the laws they were sworn to.
Okay, well, one of them looks like he's from Mars. No offense, but he looks like something out of Men in Black. Okay, I'm sorry, he does.
5 officers, including the Hanceville police chief, arrested following an extensive probe into the department. Dispatcher Chris Willingham was found dead in his office in August. His cause of death was the toxic effects of fentanyl and other drugs. Crocker says Willingham had access to the evidence room.
I would just say that nothing was secure about the evidence room, and when Mr. Willingham was discovered, there was evidence in his office.
Crocker went into detail on how people had access to evidence. It was through this hole in the wall. He says people would use the...
Look at that. A hole in the wall. Literally, look at that hole. That was a cut hole. Tell me that wasn't intentionally cut. Look how perfect it is. It's not like somebody's head or fist went through it. It looks like a tiny little window.
Broomstick to jiggle the door open.
This individual who had the stick is actually sticking his head and upper body into the hole.
Crocker says evidence tampered with includes cases in Hanceville Municipal Court and in state court.
I am not optimistic about the ability to prosecute cases with tampered evidence.
The question remains how many that will be.
You're working on that. One is too many.
Grand jury found the Hanceville Police Department is acting more like a criminal enterprise than law enforcement and a threat to public safety.
The recommendations have been made to the public at large, and then whatever action is taken will be up to the mayor and the council.
We went to Hanceville City Hall to ask the mayor what's being done to correct the corruption. The city's lawyer handed us a statement and answered a few questions, including about the future of the police department.
That's something that will have to be addressed by the council and the mayor at a meeting.
Coleman County Sheriff Matt Gentry says if the police department is disbanded, the sheriff's office would take over. Preparations are underway right now, although no formal request has been made.
We will do what is necessary to protect our citizens in Hanceville, because they're not just citizens of Hanceville, they're citizens of Coleman County.
How is the people of Hanceville supposed to entrust their council and mayor to hire another police chief or more officers?
When something is done, my office, state agencies, sheriff's office are going to be there to assist them. The mayor and the council have pledged their full cooperation with this process going forward, and I take them at their word.
In Hanceville, Megan Scarano, ABC 3340 News.
All right. So there you got it. Breaking news, holy corruption. Another small town situation that clearly got out of control. And has been going on. In my opinion, this couldn't have just been going on recently. This is something that has been known and has been going on in that particular law enforcement office for a significant amount of time. Now, I can't imagine in such a small, you saw the office, it's not that big. In such a small office, you cannot tell me the chief of police had no knowledge of what was going on. None whatsoever. So that brings us to a point where I definitely agree the Hanceville Police Department needs to be just completely abolished and rebuilt. And it doesn't make sense. Like, it's hard for you to have a city that's not manned by a police department, city limits. That's typically if you want to know what the difference is of police departments versus sheriff's departments, police departments, police the cities, the sheriff's department, police the counties. Okay. State troopers are just that. They're the state police. So anything that requires a state officer, you'll typically have a state trooper there. A lot of people believe state troopers are only out there for automobile accidents. And while the majority of their job is tickets and they're stellar at crime scene or automobile accident scene reenactments and very good on those on that front, but they're still a state police. And there are still a state police body that has full authority for investigating. A lot of people say, why is the state police at this case? And why is this, state troopers at this case? Because they're state police. That's why. All right. Thank you guys for allowing me to bend your ear. I knew you guys would not mind learning a little more about that. That just blew my mind. It was just so egregious. It was so culture based in this small community, and it was so corrupt that led to one of their own losing their life because of an OD, because they had access to unchecked amounts of narcotics. So this brings us over to, while it has nothing at all to do with the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, we are going to dovetail into the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. Sebastian, he's the boy that's sitting behind me. Beautiful, beautiful smile, handsome guy. 15 years old when he disappeared. He's now 16 years old. We know that he did not have or leave the home with any belongings. So I would think at 16 years old, we may need to be putting some stubble on his face for a photo. We know that boys that are of his age start growing some facial hair. It has been a year. Would he have enough facial hair to be covering his face now? These are things that we don't think about, that maybe we should be thinking about in the scheme of, where is he and why hasn't anybody identified him or seen him? Is it possible that he now has facial hair that's obscuring his baby face identity with the face that you guys see behind me? Is it possible? It's very possible. It's very possible. Many of you guys have been sending me updated information about certain Google, sheets and spreadsheets of the family and more information about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. So we're going to get into that and we're going to start looking at that. Enough people have sent it to me. I haven't really seen a whole lot of people going through it. So I figured maybe we'll take some time later in this segment to go over some of the stuff that you guys are seeing and maybe having a discussion on that. Tonight at 8, we have a special guest that's going to be joining us to discuss the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case and give us a little more insight into the case, at least early on in when Sebastian was reported missing. And I think it's going to be a very, very good, thorough conversation that you guys will not want to miss. That's tonight at 8 p.m. So please, if you haven't already, go over to my channel and make sure you hit the notify me button so you don't miss this great interview that is going to be planned tonight at 8. So I hope to see the coffee club all there. If there are any content creators that have any questions at the end, you guys, for those that have my private phone number, you guys can email me. I'll give you a link if you have anything to contribute to it. And that's just for the content creators. And if you guys would like to have, some commentary, just send me an email and I'll send you a link and you can come up after the interview is over if you so wish to. But before we get started, I want to go over. Now, we have a question. We have a poll question in chat right now that I would like everybody to take before we get into this. We have 315. It's moving up on me. Let me refresh this. We have 15. It looks like about 400 right now. If you have not already taken the poll and you're just coming in, please take the poll. We're going to get over to those discussions here in just a few moments. And this is related to the RICO case that happened on February 18th. And the question for all of you guys are, did the defendants violate the law in PA court? And we have just shy of under 400 votes, and we have over almost 600 people in chat right now. So if you haven't had an opportunity to vote on that, please go over there and take the poll. I'm interested in your commentary on whether or not the defendants violated Pennsylvania law, and we're going to get into some information. Hold on a second. I got to look up something I forgot to do. Okay, let's see where we are in the poll. How many people took it? We're moving up. We're moving up. We're about to cross over 400. So I'll give you guys just a few more moments. I noticed that the trolls must be taking the poll. They probably didn't realize it because they adjusted it so much, but it doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead, and I'm waiting until they're past 400. We're going to end the poll. And the poll is, did the defendants violate the law in PA? 80% of our audience here believes they did. 19% believes they did not. And that was with 403 votes that had started over an hour ago. We put that poll up before we started the show. So if you didn't have an opportunity to take the poll, you guys were provided enough time to take the poll. So let's get on with whether or not these yahoos violated the law. Let's first read the law, and then we will look at the evidence and determine whether or not they violated the law. So right here we have the PA law. This is in Pennsylvania. Recording devices are not allowed in federal courtrooms. This applies to both trial and appellate courts. So state court recording. State courts generally prohibit recording devices in courtroom, but judge may allow recording in some civil trials. Witnesses may object to recording and be excluded from the recording. Recording in public meetings. Recording devices are allowed in public meetings. This is your BOCC, your city halls. Those are public meetings. Press conferences are public meetings. So recording devices are allowed in public meetings. Recording conversations. It is illegal to record or disclose a private conversation without the consent of all parties. Violating the recording law can result in criminal and civil penalties. And if you recall, one of the claims in the suit was for wiretapping. And then they do that nonsense again. Recording in court. Using a recording device in court without court's approval is a criminal offense right there. Using a recording device in a courthouse that means for video, photography, or audio, without the court's approval is 100% a criminal offense. The term judicial facility includes courtrooms, hearing rooms, and other rooms used for court-related businesses. What rule is the one that provides this information? It is Rule 1910. And this is related to broadcasting, recording, and photography in the courtroom. General statutory prohibition. It is unlawful and a criminal offense to use or operate a device to capture, that's a photo, right? Capture, record, transmit. So when they're in a courtroom and they're texting people in the courtroom a play-by-play, that's called transmitting. So they transmit or broadcast a photograph. Specific right here. Or broadcast a photograph, video, motion picture, or audio of the proceedings, or person within the judicial facility, say like a clerk, or in an adjacent area to or immediately surrounding a judicial facility without the approval of the court. So surrounding judicial facility, say like outside as they're walking in, or say in the hallway of a courtroom, that is without the approval, or that's within the surrounding judicial facility. So we also saw pictures outside in the hall before even going into the courtroom, did we not? Interesting. It's interesting what the law has to say in PA. So they're not allowed to even record in the surrounding a judicial facility without the approval of the court or presiding judicial officer, except as provided by the rule of court. And you can look at that at 18 PA C.S. section 5103, related to unlawful use of an audio or video device in court. So there is the law here. If you guys would like to read this for yourself and get familiar with what the actual law in Pennsylvania is. And it didn't post right. It looks like it went down on two different sections. So I wish I could find you guys a smaller one than that, but that's what they've got there. PA is a very old state. They don't mess around here when it comes to courts and cops and authority. That's what I heard too. So there you guys have it. There's the law. Now, remember, what's so different about us and hate channels is we don't come here and tell you guys they broke the law, right? We ask you guys the question whether they did. We present you the receipts, okay? I would think that statute is a receipt, right? It tells everybody exactly what the law is. Now we're going to show another receipt. And this receipt is whether or not they violated the law. Let's look and see if we see anything that appears to violate the law based upon the statute that we read directly from Pennsylvania statutes and rules. Let's play. Let's see. Oh, so the first thing we've got is you can see an angle. Let's see if we can blow this up. Put this down. By the way, this is from 5D. Thank you again, 5D. So there's different sides. You guys understand that there's two sides to the courtroom, right? If you guys know that there's two sides to the courtroom, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't know there's two sides to a courtroom, put a 2 in the chat. One side is for the plaintiffs and one side is for the defendants. So the plaintiffs typically sit on one side where the table that goes up there. Now, not all the time do people that sit in the gallery sit on the right side that they need to, especially when the courtroom's filled. You just got to find a seat and sit your butt down, right? But typically when you have a scheduled hearing, one side is for the plaintiff and one side is for the defense. And the people sit on their respective sides, depending on, especially if they're there with their attorneys are going to guide them over to the side of the courtroom that they're going to be presenting on. And they're going to usually sit right behind the table. So when they're called up, they go around the little wall and into the bullpen where the judge's bench is in front of them, right? So you have the gallery and the audience seating, and then you have the two tables for the cases that are being presented from the plaintiff and the defendant, or the petitioner and the respondent, depending on what kind of case you're dealing with, right? So you can clearly see that this is coming from the opposite side of the courtroom, first and foremost. Then when you hear the commentary on these channels, these are coming directly from both the defendants that were in the courtroom at the time, according to the content creators that were running the stories and getting the play-by-play by the defendants while they were in court. And they were so brazen that while I was watching this, personally watching this, not watching it after the fact, watching it while it was live, our whole team was, we had obviously Gaping Lake and Fat Lips running their shows, and one of them had a direct contact with one of the Gaping Lake had direct contact with GW, while Fat Lips had direct contact with Shamu. Okay, so we have the direct contacts and the linkage there, but you can see, so we were all watching. I'm just giving you guys what we were doing because we were, we knew that the case was going on. We were also trying to find out what was going on in the courtroom, but we weren't being fed any information by the people in the courtroom. We were actually on these hate channels trying to get, see what was going on and why in the hell they had access to it, but we did not, right? And it was because our people in the courtroom were following the law while theirs were breaking them. So let's see if, according to the law, which clearly prohibits any type of transmission, still images, motion pictures, videos, audios of any person within the judicial facility, and that includes the immediate surroundings of that judicial facility. So that would encompass the hallway and inside the courtroom. Yet here we see photos of the defendant or the plaintiffs being shared with other defendants of the case. And they are publicly broadcasting the play-by-plays. And we even saw, while we were watching, both of the defendants engaging in text messaging with the content creators in real time.
Oh, I'd want to go. If I was Granny and I was sitting there, I would totally want to go over there and smack Nick's face and smack.
Oh, I thought we were the true crime community that realizes violence is why we cover most of the cases. We denounce any type of violence on this channel. Absolutely denounce it. We don't incite our audience to think or to even approach the topic of anybody with violence, smacking them or otherwise. If we were to say stuff like this on our channel, it would be hitting across every channel saying that we advocate for violence. So clearly, these criminals are advocating for violence of people that are suing them. And Gaping Lake is part of the lawsuit, and so is Fat Lips. So
Back Hong's face. Like literally. And then grab Julia by her bun.
She's got some grace with her, let me tell you what, because I couldn't do it.
Wow. All right. We got another picture coming in. Granny, thank you so much for sending these.
Oh!
I mean, and all the.
Oh! So acknowledgement of who are sending them. So the law states that there is, let's just read this. It is unlawful and a criminal offense to use or operate a device to capture, record, transmit, or broadcast a photograph, video, motion picture, or audio of proceedings or persons within a judicial facility. So even the hallways off limits. Or an area adjacent to or immediately surrounding a judicial facility without court approval.
All the things that are going on right now, she's sending us updates, guys.
You can hear
Thank
it.
you so much for your super chat.
That was an update. That was something being sent to her from Granny. Listen.
I mean, and all the things that are going on right now, she's sending us updates, guys. Thank you so much for your super chat. Thank you. She said, thank you for doing this today. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I don't think she's going to get in trouble. She's got her lawyer with her. She's not going to do anything that's going to get her in trouble.
I heard that the lawyer, I don't know if I can, never mind.
Granny ain't dumb. There's one thing she's not.
She looks pretty dumb. Look at that. You can see what side of the freaking courtroom they are on, and they're taking a picture of opposing counsel, his table, his paperwork. Trust me, this is problematic, to say the least. Problematic, to say the least. And not only that, but there's police reports from what I hear, or, from what Nick the Hat, or not Nick, the At Night Private Intelligence has posted, is that law enforcement is involved because there have been death threats to Joe Lesniak. Death threats. And you're taking pictures of him in a courtroom? And these people think that a judge is just going to be, oh, no problem. Okay. Well, we're not talking about that. We're just talking about whether they broke the law or not.
That's a fact. Granny's one smart cookie.
And this isn't in the courtroom anyway. This one here is, outside the courtroom.
It's a little waiting area.
Yeah,
sorry. Those look like places to sit, and it doesn't really matter because, let's face it, what does it say? It says right here. It doesn't matter. They're like, they're admitting to everything over and over and over again because it clearly says a person within a judicial facility, or an area adjacent to or immediately surrounding the judicial facility. Oh, it doesn't matter. That's just the hallway. Well, according to the law, that's a violation of law too. Just saying.
Apparently there was a conversation had out here that she's going to fill us in on afterwards.
Whatever.
Nonsense says, I'm betting it's one of the At Night guys. Clark Swanson is my guess. Clark.
So now they're trying to identify the people. Okay, I want you guys to understand this. We have people being threatened with their life, telling them they have a hit out on them, $100,000 hit, which is insane, right? For trying to cover a missing child case. And now you've got people in this courtroom taking pictures of the attorney, of the court clerk, and of people sitting with the plaintiffs and trying to identify those people. That, to me, is very scary. This is not a joke. These people are putting people's lives in danger. How do we know that? Because there's according to private at night private intelligence, they have the FBI as well as local police that they've contacted about these death threats. So we have a criminal investigation most likely underway based upon those affidavits. And these people are taking photos of people in the court, including their attorney that has had his life threatened, and post them on here and tries to identify more people. For what purpose? For more death threats? For people to show up to their house? What is the purpose of it? Especially from all these people that say that they were doxxed and love their anonymity. It seems like they're the only ones that are uncovering other people's anonymity. I've always said, if you want to keep your anonymity, quit attacking other people. Quit going real life. Quit doxing them. Maybe they wouldn't dox you. But I tell you, people that dox me and come over here crying when I find out who they are and I plaster them all over my page, cut it out. Get out of here. I don't want to hear it. You had no problem putting a map to my house. And you're worried about your name being your lawful legal name is your lawful legal name. I have no duty to cover that up. Nor will I. You want your anonymity? Then stay the hell out of my business. But you don't get to break anonymity of other people and expect to keep your anonymity. That's how we roll over here. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you can't handle the heat, then get the hell out of the kitchen.
That's just now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Girl.
So first off, they kept lying and saying we were live streaming in there because of the photo being up.
Mm-hmm.
So they were saying that, but basically, the judge has to take time, obviously, look over everything.
It's frivolous.
What do you do?
Tom just made a post. Damn, they went civil to criminal real quick. Thanks for live streaming it in the angle that only you have.
Nobody went live.
So we definitely saw the angles. We definitely heard somebody on the phone and somebody's mic being on, and you could hear the movement around inside the courtroom. So there was audio transmission. And there were photos inside the courtroom as well as in the hallway of the courtroom, which is a clear violation of the law. Why would they have laws to prevent this from happening and just dismiss it when it does?
I told you that's what they're going to say.
Someone who filmed and took pictures prosecuted. Imagine if your lawyer you hired inadvertently got you charged. It's sad you can't follow the law for 1 hour.
I told you that's what they went back in to do. When they left the courthouse, they turned around and went back in. I said, I guarantee they're going back in to try to press charges for that.
Unbelievable.
But we didn't live stream, so.
Yeah.
And no, what your attorney said is, I didn't get permission for my voice to be broadcasted. That's what he said. Nobody went live.
Then how did we hear the court proceedings through a feedback on her phone? Wouldn't that be part of the transmit? Or the capture? Or the photograph? Within a judicial facility or adjacent or immediately surrounding the judicial facility without approval of the court? So, according to the law, they don't need to live stream. They only needed to capture the pictures. And they only needed to transmit those photos, which they did. And we've got proof because we produce receipts over here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We don't throw allegations without factual information.
They just live in a fantasy world. Way to turn it. I thought this was.
You're a liar!
Warning, warning, bullshit alert!
Hello? Hello, this is Wendy from Courtroom Betty. Oh, shut up.
Criminal.
Judge is ripping Leslie.
So you've got them on a three-way call. What I presume was happening for us to get that kind of feedback is that one of them must have called and left their phone on. So every time they wanted to hear something, they could just turn the mic on or share the audio. I bet you anything, we're going to find a phone call in their phone records going to one of the content creators, and they just left their phone open and on. How else would you have all that background noise? I don't think their phones would have been able to get into the Wi-Fi. And you guys know when you go into these buildings, your Wi-Fi goes zoop, right? Because there's a whole bunch of blockage. They have their own equipment in there. They have wire beams and concrete block in their stuff. They may even have, disable internet for people with cell phones. So what would you have left? Only your telephone. Only your telephone. So it is my belief, based upon that little nugget of hearing the courtroom, that somebody must have called somebody and just left their phone on so they could hear the proceedings as they were happening. That sounds like transmission and broadcasting to me.
Let's
listen to it.
I thought this was criminal.
Judge is ripping Lesniak per barbecue.
And that was not the truth. Actually, what she said was that her attorneys were. So everybody out there was thinking that Joe Lesniak was getting ripped up and down one side and up the one side from the judge. No. It was Barbecue's attorneys that were screaming at Joe, not the judge. Interesting. And if you don't believe that, you can listen to her. The way I found that out is because this defendant was on a show where she said her attorneys chewed him out before they went in.
Go judge, go judge, go judge. We don't even know what you're saying, but go ahead and do the
Okay, now they're bringing up Castor. All right, let me add her as a mod.
So now they're bringing up Castor. So she's literally getting a play-by-play from inside that courtroom. We could hear the phone line open and all the commotion inside that courtroom, i.e. transmitting. Let's keep going. Thank you, 5D.
Dude, okay, now she's moderated. Thank God.
You can hear it.
My eyes are bad. I got to go pick up my new glasses. They're ready. Okay, Castor is up. They're bringing up Castor.
How would she know this?
All attorneys are standing. Tension is high. Lesniak is drowning.
How would she know this?
Wow.
Nobody in that courtroom could be possibly giving this lady play-by-play unless a phone line is open. Unless a phone line is open and you can clearly hear what's going on inside the courtroom. She's listening in. How in the world is she able to listen in or get transmission or broadcast feed from a courtroom that's closed off to media and recordings? So we're going to be doing another poll at the end of this to see how many people think she broke the law. We were at an 80-20 split before we started this segment.
Little feet, Joseph, kick your little feet. You're in trouble.
These people are freaking idiots.
They found themselves in a real sea of sharks today, didn't they?
Dude, I mean, I would love for the judge to be like, dismiss. Like,
yeah. Keep wish in one hand and poop in the other. And then go dive in your gaping lake.
Hey, Jay, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Joe, I got him. It was Julia. It was Julia that was complaining because I heard her go up to the one guard and was like, "Oh, they're putting pictures of us." And then we're like, "Yeah, we took photos." But well, I'll just say I'm a little slicker than Barbecue and the other. We had to show them our gallery. Thank you. And like,
oh, a little slicker. So, i.e., lied to what? The judge? Let's listen to that again. It sounds like she's happy that she did criminal activity and got away with it. Is that what I'm hearing? Let's listen to that. It sounds like, what do they call it? Duper's delight?
It was Julia. It was Julia that was complaining because I heard her go up to the one guard and was like, "Oh, they're putting pictures of us." And then we're like, "Yeah, we took photos." But well, I'll just say I'm a little slicker than Barbecue and the other. We had to show them our gallery. Thank you.
I don't think she was slicker because Gaping Lake said you were the one transmitting all the photos and audio to her before this thing started. I don't know how she thinks she's so slick.
And show them that, we didn't have photos or recordings.
So basically what she did is she was a little more slicker than Barbecue, i.e. she deleted the evidence before law enforcement got to her phone. That's what I'm interpreting that to mean. Let's listen to that in full context. Let's go back 20 seconds.
Pictures of us. And then we're like, "Yeah, we took photos." But well, I'll just say I'm a little slicker than Barbecue and the other. We had to show them our gallery. Thank you. And show them that, we didn't have photos or recordings.
So we know that the photos came from her because J is for Justice, Gaping Lake is said that thank you for sending them. Thank you, GW, for sending those to me. And so she hands over her phone to show she doesn't have any photos. That would imply she deleted evidence. That means she knew what she was doing was wrong. And when she was caught, she was slick and deleted all her evidence.
And I'm like, well, I got this photo from outside. But the photos were taken before the court even started. So that's not
right. So they take everybody's phones?
Yeah. Yeah. We all had to give up our phones. And then, like I said,
they laugh about it like it's a joke. Like, I don't think ticking off a judge that you're asking for, basically a favor. I don't want to have to deal with this lawsuit. And you disrespect their courtroom. I got no words for the stupidity of people.
It was spoken about. Like, Barbecue's like, "Yeah, I took photos before court began." And she didn't care.
Right. They would have even said, delete them right now. You know what I mean? Like, if that was a problem.
Right.
I've seen it happen in courts before where people get busted with their phones taking pictures during live court.
Are you feeling any better, Granny?
I don't know why this is taking so long. Seems like let's just keep. Is that the end of it? No. I don't know if there's supposed to be audio there or not. Okay, so let's read what it says here. It says, BBQ and GW watching got busted being slick, evil, sneaky, taking pictures of the plaintiffs and their friend and Lesniak. And as you can see, the person transmitting this. And then calls them dumb, dumber, and dumbass. Dumb, dumber, and dumbass. You can't make that stuff up. You can't make that stuff up. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and let's put another poll into chat. Let me refresh. Let me put another poll into chat. And now that we've seen the law, we've seen the evidence, let me ask again. Do you think the defendants violated PA law? Question mark. Poll is now officially up. Please consider taking the poll. The poll will we'll talk about a couple other things, but there's all of the receipts that I have. I don't have them in my possession, custody, and control, and I know that there are definitely more that were captured. But that is what is out by 5D. Again, shout out and credit to 5D. If somebody would shoot the 5D's channel in chat, I'd greatly appreciate it. It's okay. The trolls can vote because I like them to see that they don't do anything over here. Their work does. They just suck at their jobs. Okay, they just suck at their jobs, all of them. So I just want to show they have to always, go and create 15 million stupid accounts to try to justify them. Oh my gosh, yes, we're in control. We've got this, but we have to have 50 million things and manipulate. We can't do it. I don't do manipulation strategies. I don't do that. It is what it is. My numbers are my numbers. That's just how it is. I don't have to have my audience having 5 accounts so it looks like I'm getting all these clicks and views when I'm not. And that's, again, it's the manipulation. It's the strategy that they use, the smoke in the mirrors. The smoke in the mirrors, I think, is the biggest strategy point that they have. That's all they've got. So, and every time they answer the polls, it shows them just how small they are in the grand scheme, because they're in their small little echo chamber where they pat each other on the back. That's why they don't really grow, right? The only way they grow is if their people get new accounts, right? Well, set up a second account. Oh, that sounds like a great idea. Let me go and set up the 5th account, the 100th account, right? So, we're not playing all those things, but in that their little echo chamber, they think that they are the reality of this world because they're just delusional. Like they just don't realize that outside of YouTube, there's a real live world out there that doesn't really care for their kind of buffoonery, as Duty Ron would say, right? They're straight up buffoonery, and the chaos that they cause in these cases, every last one of them. Either get on board with helping or just go tear each other apart. But stay away from these victims. These victims deserve better than crap. They deserve better than active felons, people that like to do substances and like to strangle their own children and like to have their own children taken away from the Department of Children and Family Services and all this criminal activity and all this drug consumption and all this other stuff. These people need to realize they're the bottom feeders. I mean, they've got to know this. So stay on your own side of your dirty street, okay? We are over here advocating for children and victims of crime. We're here to try to find answers, to try to bring people to law enforcement that can provide them answers, to advocate for people and to make sure that people are seeing them out there in social media. These other people, they sell hate for profit. That's all they do. And they have a small echo chamber, and they have managed to take that echo chamber and wield it as a weapon against anybody and everybody that doesn't align with their beliefs, their delusional beliefs, where you put parents that have enough evidence to prove that they were abusive to their missing son prior to him going missing, yet they put them on a pedestal. And this didn't just happen once. This has happened over and over and over again, including all the way back to 2021 when they were putting the parents of Summer Wells on a pedestal. Literally crack-smoking drunks were put on a pedestal above a missing 5-year-old child. That to me is disgusting. Anybody that supports parents that can harm a hair on their child's head and support them and get money is disgusting to me. Is disgusting. But they always try to take their words and create a narrative with no receipts whatsoever and then hurt an innocent father that's just looking for a son for profit. Not just $100 or $200, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. At this point, probably close to $100 or more $1,000 raised off the bat. And that's just one content creator. One content creator that's selling hate. But they have all the drug dealers. They have all the evil people in this world that sit there and make money, don't pay taxes, get freaking welfare from the government while making $20,000 a month. That's a fact. Why is HHS involved in Fat Lips child custody, if not for some type of government assistance, from everything I'm reading? So, and we know $120,000 or more was raised by her audience. How in the world can somebody that can raise $120,000 be entitled to one scintilla of government assistance? That's what I'd like to know. But there you have it. There you have it. So this has been passed around. I figured we would go over it just a little bit in case you didn't know who the family is of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And of course, we have a stepdad, Christopher Proudfoot, mom, Katie Proudfoot, the missing, which is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and his father, Seth Rogers. There it is. Now let's read what is going on. So Sebastian Rogers has been missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee since February 26, 2024. Sebastian was last seen by his mother, Katie Proudfoot, at 9 p.m. on February 25th, 2024, when she told him to go to bed. Sebastian was later heard in his room around 10 p.m., allegedly. All that information came by one person and one person only, and that was his mother. The only third party that saw Sebastian other than his mother was when he was leaving the Texas Roadhouse at approximately 6:22 on February 25th was the last time we, as well as any other stranger or patron of the Texas Roadhouse, saw him. And not a whole lot here for Katie Proudfoot, which bothers me a little bit because there should be a whole lot in here for Katie, but they've got works for Brinks. There should be a whole lot in here for Christopher Proudfoot, but all they have in here for Christopher Proudfoot is Christopher is in construction and it is a crane, and they have it wrong. He's a tower crane operator. It's a big difference than a crane operator. What are the goals? Oops. What are the goals? I want to bring Sebastian and his case to the forefront. I hope that we can bring what's happening in the dark to the light. Let's bring Sebastian home to his father, Seth. Amen to that. And of course, we have all the official flyers for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers that has been sent out from various organizations, so you can really see the changes in it. It's this optimism shirt and it's this bruise right here on his neck that has me the most concerned. So we have all of those, and then of course the tips. I don't want to go into it because I haven't had an opportunity to really hone in or review that chart just yet, but it is out there, and we will be going over it tomorrow. Well, no. We will be I'm going to a friend's house on the other side of Florida, so I might do a live just to chat with you guys during my drive, since it's several hours long. And then I'll be making my way to Tennessee. So tomorrow we'll have like a little road trip thing. And if you guys know anything about road trips, you just kind of got to stick with it because we're moving and sometimes the live just drops. So you guys have to wait for me to refresh and get back on my live. So I just want to let you know, if you're going to be traveling with me, just understand there are just spots that the phone just zoop, and in a few minutes later, it's back up. No harm, no foul, no problems, whatever. So just be cognizant that we will be moving. And if you're hanging out with me, just be patient. Thanks, Dees. We got Betty, 32 months. Good gracious. We've got a gifted Bullhorn Betty membership from Melanie. Thank you so much, as well as a Lady for Justice. So if you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Melanie, and Lady for Justice, thank you. Welcome to this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. I love that button. Mom came over here. You guys remember when we were in the live and my mom just kind of pops and walks right in. The dog's going crazy. She's smelling food because my mom brought over food. And after the live went off, my mom came over here and pushed every one of my buttons. Mama Bullhorn is a button pusher. And of course, she got tickled pink. Yeah, she's sweet. Oh, good gracious. So let's say hi to Miss Delilah, and then we'll go ahead and let you guys move on for the day. Don't forget, 8 o'clock tonight, guys. 8 o'clock tonight, we're having an interview, and I want you all to be here for the interview. Say hi, everybody. Let me take this off. I'm going to take the background off. They can't see you. Your head's cut off. Yes, your head's cut off, baby. Hold on. Quit getting all wiggly. I got to change the background. Hold on. Don't get all wiggly. Don't get all wiry on me. There we go. Hi. My mommy loves me. Hey, I love my mommy. She just woke me up, so I got my Gene Simmons going. Hi, guys. Don't worry. All those blankets are going with me. They're just there because she likes to tear them down. Say hi. I'm a crime-fighting dog. I take a bite out of crime. Look at that cute little face. I told my friend I'm going to be training her to take a bite out of butts. I don't know if she's quite prepared to take a bite. She's too cute. She's too cute. All right. You tell him. That looks so awful. I've got my blankies because I gotta have them ready when she gets cold. You gotta have them in grabby. I don't like you guys seeing that, but I gotta have them in grabby. When she starts shivering, you gotta get her covered. Gotta get her covered. So don't mind my mess. Bless the mess, right? Bless the mess. But I have been working very hard behind the scenes to get a lot of stuff done, organized and everything like that. So we will keep going down this road with Sebastian Rogers. I'm going to start incorporating some Crystal Rogers stuff in here because we've got a trial coming up with Crystal Rogers. We also got to get caught back up on the Idaho 4 that's coming this summer. We're going to be in Idaho for the trial of Brian Kohberger. It is something that we've been discussing for several years, and we've been trying to balance it. I know that I was trying to raise funds for that. We were talking about raising funds for that, but obviously with the court and having to raise legal expenses, we're going to have to check the budget. But I'm hoping by summertime we'll be able to get that budget pulled. I'll be able to get that budget pulled together, and we might not depend. We'll have to check it out, but we may not even need to do fundraising to get us out there. I'm hoping that with the strategy I have right now, we can make the budget work. So we'll get that when we get closer to time. We'll get it. But one way or another, we're going out. We're going to be in front of the courthouse in Boise, Idaho, running the case. We were there, boots on the ground. We were the only social media people with boots on the ground. When we got boots on the ground, we were the first people that brought in Washington State University as a possibility. We were the only social media or media reporting how close the other university was and actually being out there. So we have a lot in this. Moreover, we did an amazing interview with the Gonzalez family, which Howard Blum put up there with, Barbara Walters type of interview, which was very, quite an impressive statement made, right? When you do stuff, you don't think of it like that. We're not here. We're here for the story. A lot of the media was, wanting the parents to talk about who they thought did this to their child. And Olivia and I did not want to be the same as mainstream media. And our focus was really on the love that Kaylee and Maddie had for one another, their amazing friendship, who they were. We wanted to humanize the victims because people didn't know who they were, how sweet they were. I mean, some of the things and assumptions people made about these victims were atrocious, absolutely atrocious, from being snobby rich kids to just atrocious. And it couldn't have been further from the truth of who these victims were. These victims were, doing very well academically. They were very smart. They were very loving. They were very caring. They were very welcoming of all. And that's the story that never got told. And that's what Olivia and I really wanted to focus on, is just how amazing these two were. We didn't really have a whole lot of information on Ethan or Xana. That wasn't the knowledge. I mean, they, of course, Kaylee's parents knew of them and stuff like that, but it wasn't like Kaylee and Maddie. They were tight. They've known each other since the 6th grade. They were best friends. They did everything together. And that's what we kind of focused on. Not that the other victims weren't important. It was just that the other victims weren't as known to our subjects that we were interviewing, other than their own personal life and their own personal world with their daughter and her best friend, which was like a sister. It's just a very beautiful story of friendship, I'm glad they had each other. I'm glad in the nastiness of all of this, I'm truly glad that they didn't leave this world alone. They didn't have to take that journey by themselves. And every time I think of it, it starts making me start tearing up and stuff like that. But just to let you guys know, everything is still, on track for us to get out there. I know that was a major concern for this channel, but it looks like it's going to be a possibility. So praise God for that. God moves mountains on this channel. You guys watch him move mountains in my world each and every day. You watch him move mountains in the cases that we cover each and every day. They might not be the right mountains that we think need to be moved, but something we know is being done behind the scenes. And we can't be more appreciative to God Almighty than we are today. It doesn't seem like it. We have a lot of unanswered questions, but we know, those that are faithful know that he is working. He is working when we don't see him. He's working morning, noon, and night. Evil is evil, and it takes a while to be triumphant over evil. So we just keep praying, we just keep working, and we keep guiding in the faith of the Lord in these cases. And I truly believe that. So Sunday, even though we'll be on the road, we're still going to be at church. Once I get where I'm getting and I get situated, I will make sure I come live. But those that want to travel with me, you're more than welcome to. Just understand there's going to be intermittent issues. There's going to be intermittent issues, but we'll just hang out for a little bit. Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So I just wanted to go over again, Dee's Mysteries, Mystery Obsessed. Thank you so much. B. Betty. Melanie, thank you. Lady Justice, thank you. And God bless you, Teresa. Aw, super sticker. Oh, Lady for Justice says travel. Aw, thank you, love. I do appreciate that. Be safe. Give Seth our love. I will absolutely do that. And for your, thank you guys. Thank you so much. So finally, after a year, we are going to be going and seeing a friend I haven't seen in a while, and then we'll be out at the vigil on the 1st. I hope all of you guys come out to the church and pray over Sebastian. We need all hands on deck. We need to be praying. We need to come together. We need to put this child first. He deserves more. No matter how we look at it, wherever he is at, he needs to come home. He needs to come home. And those that are responsible for taking him away from his dad for a year, over a year, need to be held accountable for that. So if you guys have any information about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, please reach out to 1-800-TBI-FIND or tell dog at 833-TELL-DOG. There's a variety of ways that you can help, from posting flyers, sharing posts, sharing videos, sending information, anything and everything that you find. If you don't know whether it should go to law enforcement, you can always send it to me, Dog the Bounty Hunter, directly to Tony, and it will be reviewed and see if it needs to go further or where it needs to go from there. Okay. This is about Sebastian. I feel so bad. I think where our heart really hurts the most is that this was a preventable situation. The problem is nobody knew of the situation to prevent it. And the people that did know hid that from the people that could have done something about it. And so it's very, very upsetting that we're here. Not only that we're here, but that we're here a year later. I pray to God that Seth gets the answers he is trying to seek. I pray to God that his son makes it back to him and makes it back to him safely. But I can't imagine that uneasy, gnawing feeling that's in the gut of anybody that cared for this child, and knowing that this child has not been seen or heard from in almost a year. It's got to be gut-wrenching. Every one of you guys have somebody in your life that you care about and love, whether it's an animal, whether it's a favorite aunt, a grandparent, a child, a sibling, a cousin. We all have somebody that in our life that we love very, very, very much. And I want you to think in your heart and in your soul, what would you do if you woke up tomorrow and that person wasn't able to be spoke to? You weren't able to hug that person. You weren't able to go fishing with that person. You weren't able to do that. I want you to tell me what you as a person would do if you woke up tomorrow and you were in the same position as this family. What would you do? And if you feel that what you would do is what this family has done, then you've got nothing to worry about. If you're seeing things that you can't believe happened, right? Or you can't believe, like, these parents aren't doing anything. That's something that only you would know, because only you can determine what you would do in a situation like this. I know what I would do in a situation like this. I feel like I know what I would do in a situation like this, and I'm accompanied with millions of people across this country and world that would do the same thing. But those are the things that we didn't see happen. And all of us want to know why. All of us. We all want to know why. Oh, thank you, Gypsy. I'm hoping you're going to be there. I think definitely would love to see you, and would love to see everybody. Just remember, even if you have problems with other people, even if you're, Team Sebastian, right? And you're part of Sebastian's army, and you see somebody, you check your BS at the door. It has nothing to do with our personal beefs. It has nothing to do with anything. If people are coming there to pray over Sebastian, then let's all come together and pray over Sebastian. Whatever feelings we harbor or have about this case all needs to be laid outside of that church door, right? You can pick it back up when you leave the church. But when you come into that church, you leave that baggage at the church door. We all have to do it for the sake of this young man, and we're all going to do it successfully. And we're all going to come together for the sake of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, because at the end of the day, he's the one that's been missing. We don't know what he's going through. We don't know if he's staying warm. We don't know if he had a hot meal in his belly. We don't know if he's freaking out. We don't know if he's missing his mom or dad. We don't know if he's being hurt or not. We don't know if he's sick or not. We don't know where Sebastian is, but we do believe people do know. But whatever happens, we are at that church for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, a 16-year-old boy that hasn't been seen in over a year by the time we're in that church. That needs to be our only concern. So I can't wait to see you guys. I can't wait to put my arms around you. I can't wait to lock arms with you and lift our hands and lift our voices for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. So we'll see you soon. Don't forget, tonight at 8 p.m., it's going to be an interview you don't want to miss. God bless you. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.